I think they're finally used to it in our place.
Wolverine cosplay. I'm Batman.
Thank you very much. Scared the crap out of me.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As some of you may know at this point in time, I am working on teaching myself how to make hats at this point. And so I have been cruising eBay and Facebook Marketplace and places like that looking for cheapo hats that I can rip apart and put back together and make them my own and not have to worry about ruining them. So I picked up these three hats here, and boy are they beaters. I've got this one here, this is an Akubra. This is probably going to become a hat for Shan Chan at some point. And then I got this old beater here at the bottom, which may or may not be a Stetson. It feels like a Stetson, but I don't know for sure. Some of these are in decent shape, like this one here, and some of them are in not so decent shape, like this one here. I picked these up for $10 a piece off of Marketplace. But this one is a really, really nice felt. One of the nicer felts in the house. And I don't have it in me to ruin it. So I'm going to take it to the Virginia City hat maker and have him reblock it and restyle it. So that's going to be on this video. But I want to start by at least doing what I can to this hat without having to worry about ruining it. So I'm going to be removing the hat band here, which is sewn in. You can see it right there, that it's got some stitching in there to hold it in place. And I'm going to be removing the sweatband on it, which is completely ruined. I'm also going to have Pascal put a liner in this thing. But as usual, when we go and take a hat to him, I'll be recording the whole thing in his shop. So up to this point, we're just going to see what I can do to this hat before taking it to him. Now you can see it's got some frickin' paint right there, and a little scuff right there, some more scuffing here, here, here. I mean, this has been a very well-used hat. It's also got this weird, I don't know if that's a stain or what that is, but I'm going to attempt to get all this out with some hot water and a little bit of scrubbing, and hopefully whatever I can't finish, Pascal will be able to finish. But I'm going to start by getting rid of this hat band and getting the sweatband out. So, for starters, you're going to need this seam ripper, which I got off of Amazon for like $3. And we're going to need to come in here where you can see the stitching right there, and I'm going to stick that seam ripper in there and pull that out, and hopefully this will come out with too much trouble. I'm not going to bother recording that because I don't have anybody to run the camera right now, but if you want to see how that's done, you can look at my Raylan Givens hat making video that's also on this channel. So I'm going to see what I can do and then get back to you. Okay, well that mostly went well. This is what remains of the sweatband, which is pretty gross looking, so that's going to get thrown away. This is the hat band, which came out really easily. I'm going to hang on to that for maybe putting that on a future hat or something. I always keep my hat bands just in case. And this is the hat. I tried to clean it up a little bit using some hot water and a scrubby sponge. I think I got most of it off of there. Kind of hard to tell with the hat still being wet. But this thing is frickin' filthy. I mean, gunk was coming off of it, just, you know, putting water on it. So this thing is probably going to need a very, very thorough cleaning. But I think I got most of the gunk off of the brim. That spot right there, maybe, not sure yet. We'll have to wait till it dries. The paint did not come off, and probably isn't gonna. I mean, I could use you know, paint thinner, acetone, something like that, but I am 99% sure that's going to ruin the hat. So, yeah, these might just have to stay here. And there's another one right here. There's also a little nick in the brim there, but I think I can probably sand that out. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this thing. It was weird. When I took the sweatband out, it went from like a size 54 to a size 59. And now this thing almost fits me perfectly. Crazy. And that's just because, I'm pretty sure it's just because the sweatband was rolled up in multiple spots. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. But Shan couldn't even get this hat on her head. And now that the sweatband's out, it fits me, which is just weird. So, I was going to have Pascal reblock this, but I'm thinking that I might give this a go, because I think I can at least make an attempt at reblocking it without ruining the felt. And if I do, then I'll just have Pascal fix it. I am still going to have him put the sweatband in and the hat liner in, because I don't have the tools or the know-how to do that yet. So, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to put this on the block, and I'm going to document that if I do. So, stay tuned. Okay, so I'm going to take the next step with this old beater hat that I'm working on restoring. And we're going to work on reblocking it today with some brand new tools that I picked up here, thanks to a very kind generation from my friend Tom, or kind donation from my friend Tom. So anyway, this is a hat block, size 59, that I got from Alan Walsh on Etsy, Walsh Designs. He does 3D prints of hat making tools. And for a poor guy like me, this is basically the only way to get started, because if this was in wood, it would cost about $250. This thing was like 30 bucks. And it's made out of a really heavy-duty ABS plastic, and this gentleman has a very, very good reputation of making good tools. So we're going to see what happens here. I also got a couple of other things from him here. This is going to be my hat pusher downer that I'm going to use to get the hat onto the block. And then this I'm going to use to get the blocking cord into place. I'm also going to be using a blocking cord, which Shan and I just made. You can buy these from hat making supply places, and they're like $3 a piece. We got this whole thing here off of Amazon for $10, and we'll be able to make as many hat blocking cords as we want. Another expensive thing in hat making is the steamer. If you're going to be making like a whole bunch of hats, you're going to need like a big, big water tank. But I picked this sucker up at an estate sale for $15. And it's supposed to be really, really good at steaming. So we're going to see what it can do. So yeah, all this stuff, this piece of wood here was just a scrap piece of wood that I had sitting out in the barn.
Just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
You do know that that's the type of wood that will crumble under water, any type of moisture, right?
Yeah, my guess is this thing is only going to last for like 3 or 4 hats, and then it's going to be busted.
That, yeah.
But right now, I just needed something to make sure that I could get the brim flat, because this thing is like all sorts of messed up here at the bottom of the crown. So if this works the way that I want it to, I'll probably invest in some better wood for future hats down the road. But this is just something I had on hand, and we didn't need it for anything else. So
Okay, just making sure.
we're going to get this on here. Now obviously, this hat, when we first got it, was really, really small. And when I got it wet, it expanded very, very easily. So I have no idea what the size of this hat was originally. But right now it's dry again. And I've already pulled the sweatband and stuff out of it, and the hat band is also gone. So we're just going to see what happens here. I have never done this before, so we'll see what happens.
Gonna go on the other side, I guess.
Obviously a professional steamer is going to work way better than this thing, but for $15, I'm thinking this is going to do exactly what I want it to do.
Just be careful to not touch the hat with the iron.
Mm-hmm. Well, Pascal touches his hats with the iron. And I'm going to have to eventually to get the brim flat. But right now, I just want to get it onto the block. So it's going to need... Oh, wow, that makes a big difference. Wow, this tool's handy. Now, for those of you that watched my Raylan Givens hat making adventure, basically I just got the hat wet and then tried to reshape the crown from scratch. This is a much, much better method. You can already see that the crown is changing shape. And I haven't even gotten it all the way on there yet. And this hat pusher downer, boy, this thing is really freaking handy. Add a little bit more steam. Tom, if you're watching this, I want to say thank you very much for your kind donation to my cause here. These tools are working out very, very well. And a lot of pro hat makers are really, really going to yank on this thing. Honestly, at this point in my career, I'm a little bit scared to do that. So I'm just going a little bit slower than a pro would.
Plus, isn't this a really old hat?
I have no idea how old this hat is.
It looked old.
Yeah.
But you could make it a little bit more
This hat is
difficult to
also,
stretch.
the crown on this hat is also a little bit higher than I think it was originally bashed as. I'm not sure I want to go all the way down with this sucker, honestly.
Well, actually, sweetheart,
Go ahead.
this line I thought was where it originally folded from.
There's a very good chance of that, yeah.
No, before you started it did. And as you're doing it, you're putting it toward the outside and you're pulling this down like that and you're shaping it because you steamed it. So you just made the crown taller.
I think I did just make the crown taller.
Yes, you
yeah.
did.
But it's still got a couple of little creases in here that I need to get out. But the problem with that is, I was hoping that I could just flatten the brim against this thing, and the block I think is going to be a little bit too high for that.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, otherwise you're going to make it way taller.
I think what I'm going to have to do is get the brim or the crown nice and flat, because there's still a couple creases here that need to come out. But once I've got that done, I think I'm actually going to have to pull it off the block to get the brim flat the way that I want it.
Yeah, because you just stretched all of this.
Oh yeah, and it's been stretched up here too. So
No, I mean you just stretched it down. Mm-hmm. As in you were pulling it. Here. You were
I
pulling
understand
it,
what you're saying.
and it stretched right here, and you went outwards because you put that thingy all the way out here instead of up against it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, just for the watchers, you probably don't want to do that if it's already your size, because then you can't unstretch a hat.
You can. There is a method for doing that. That's beyond my skill level at this point. That is something that I want to tackle eventually, but definitely not right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm kind of thinking that I'm not going to be able to get the brim flat the way that I want to until I pull it off the block.
Well, is it even... It's fully on the block.
It needs to be stretched a little bit more, because I got to get rid of these creases.
I mean... I was meaning... Like, it was originally up here, and I just was curious of why you thought that it could be pulled down all the way to the bottom if you put it next to the hat and saw that it was too tall.
It could be. I could keep going, but I don't think I want to. Otherwise, the hat's going to start looking kind of funky.
It already kind of does.
we go. Okay, they're almost out. I'm pretty sure this is the part where Pascal actually irons the hat itself. Really, really hesitant to do that. I've almost got all the creases out of it just right there, and that's actually looking pretty good.
You're now just shifting it back and forth and
Yeah.
making it larger. You have literally made this hat larger now because you were shifting it back and forth and
I'm really, really hesitant to actually apply the iron to this thing.
my suggestion probably would have taken something hard since it was already touching the top of the crown and just press it against the top to, after steaming it, to get it out that way rather than stretching it out to look weird and too big. Because couldn't you just like take a flat piece and rub it on the top while it's steamed?
Maybe. I don't know. A regular hatter will do this to the crown. Oh, okay. Well, that did make a pretty good difference.
I was only saying if you're, too scared. You're going to do it,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, I'd rather experiment a little bit more on the trashy hats. The felt on this one is actually really good, and I don't want to mess it up if I can help it.
Be careful, it's sitting on it wonky too right now.
What do you mean? It's not straight.
No, not at all. I just told you that. Yeah, see?
I think this side's a little bit higher.
Yeah. Don't want to take it off the block and have it, the crown be crooked.
Yeah, that would kind of suck.
Yeah.
Although we could always reblock it again if that's the case. But yeah, I mean, I could take this all the way down to the board, which would make life really easy for me. That would also make it a very tall crown, like an Indiana Jones hat.
Well, even if you did that, I really think, this is just an opinion, but this, when you pull it, I think you want to put it where you want it to stop and hold it against that rather than letting it slide and make this goofy, flared out thing.
Well, that's what the blocking cord is for.
Oh, okay.
But normally you would push this all the way down, tie that off with the blocking cord so that the crown is exactly where you want it to be, and then iron the brim flat. And we could do that, but that's going to extend the height of the crown. So maybe my next block from Alan, I should order one where the block is a
I wasn't
little
talking about that. I'm talking about the part that's way too wide, because even if you pushed that back in, then it's gonna be too big for your head on this part, so it's always gonna swoop out.
Yeah, I mean this line here, I'm guessing this is where the original blocking cord was.
Well, yeah, it was before you started this.
So, I mean that's probably where I want to start flattening it out once I've got it off the block. At least that's what my plan is going to be here.
Will the iron shrink the felt to make it do that? Because otherwise it's
Yes.
flared. Okay. That's all I was worried about.
But yeah, I'm not really sure what it's going to look like because it's kind of hard to know what this hat went through previously. But I don't know. I'm kind of satisfied with the crown right where it's at. I don't know if I want to yank it any further down on that block or not.
I don't think you should.
But I mean, you can see here, I mean, there's still a lot of playroom at the bottom of that block.
Yeah, well, maybe you should get little round thingies to, make it so you can have it, hit something. Something that goes around it for different crown sizes. That sit under here.
You can't really do that. You're supposed to buy different blocks. That's why hatters have so many different blocks, because you got to get one for each.
Then why didn't you buy a shorter
shape.
block?
I didn't know what I was getting into. This is the most common block used for a size 59, and so that's what I went with, because this is my first block.
Okay.
But I can get tons more from him. He's got a million gazillion different styles and all sorts of stuff.
I just figured it'd use less material to make a thingy to go up, and because then they wouldn't have to make a million blocks.
Well, I think we should go ahead and cord it off. And then, honestly, we're going to have no choice but to take it off the block and then try and flatten the brim. But the crown does look nice.
Why does it have some weird shiny thing all the way around it now? Is that where it was creased?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And this is a really old hat, and it probably took a couple of dings right there, too.
No, it's all the way around.
Yeah, that's where the original bash was. So
okay.
If the hat was going to get scuffed, it was going to happen right there.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Okay.
I mean, this hat has been used a lot. I mean, it's got frickin' paint on it, for crying out loud. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention earlier. The brim had a little... I think that's right. That's it right there. It had a little nick in it.
Is that it? I thought it was a little more drastic, but yep.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
I fixed it already.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't put that on camera.
It still has a little
and I
nick.
meant to. So basically what I did was, it had a bit of a nick right there. I took this sanding block and I just sanded around the brim to just try and make that nick a little bit less noticeable. Now the other thing I could have done is just cut off, 1/8 of an inch on the brim and made it a little bit shorter. But I didn't want to particularly do that with this hat until I know what we're, dealing with as far as like how wide the brim actually is. I think that this width on the brim is going to look pretty good on me already. I generally like to have a brim that's 3 inches. So if we go to the original block right here, for a cowboy hat, it's already right at 3 inches. Now I could probably take off, maybe 1/8 of an inch there. But in order to use my hat jack on it, which I also got from this fella, which is really cool. This is a rounding jack. These normally go for about $220. I got this one in the kit. The entire kit was, I don't know, he gave me a really good deal on it, so I probably shouldn't say what I paid, because I think if you go to the Etsy page, you're going to pay a little bit more than what I actually paid for it. But, yeah, you can get a whole package from him for, less than the price of a block. So, just something to consider for you new hat people out there. But yeah, the brim is already right at 3 inches, and I'd kind of like to leave it around there. So, we'll kind of work on the hat a little bit more and kind of see where we're at as far as like the shape and what it looks like and stuff like that once I actually get the whole thing repaired. But I think that's where we're going to leave it at for right now. I'm going to let this dry on the block for a day or so, and then we're going to pull it off the block, and I'm going to see if I can get the brim on it flattened out. So that's what we'll be dealing with next.
Sounds good.
I think for now we should go ahead and put the cord back on it and try and put it right where it was before, because that way I'll know exactly where we need to start ironing out the brim. So I'd want to start ironing it actually right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to get that weird flare out.
Uh-huh. And that can be done. I was really, really hoping that...
What are you going to put it on to do that?
This.
No, I mean, will it not... Well, I guess you just are careful about not, pushing the iron into that.
Yeah, you just run it along this side. And hopefully that will come out. I think it will. We might just need to add a little bit more steam so that we can push the hat down onto the board. Okay, now you said to tighten this thing, which I don't want to do too much because it's already got a mark in it from the last person who used a cord on it. It was this way? You yank it this way? And that's where this thing comes in handy. You just go like this.
We're running out of battery,
Okay.
so we should probably...
Well, with the block off the ground, it's a little bit harder to tie the cord.
That's the battery.
No, that's this thing.
Oh, well, it's now flashing on.
But that's where we're going to go ahead and cut this.
Okay.
And yeah, on our next the next time we work on this, we'll be ironing out the brim and see what we can do with that.
Yay!
Okay, so I'm going to be working on the hat a little bit more today. I think I'm going to change the crown on it. When I was working on this yesterday, I decided that I did not want to finish pulling the hat down onto the hat block because I didn't want the crown to get any taller. But I forgot to factor in the fact that the bash is going to make this crown quite a bit shorter. And right now it's actually right about where I want the crown to be, which means I left no room for the bash. So I am going to go ahead and push it down onto the rest of the block. And I'm going to use another really cool tool that I got from Alan, which is this thing. What you do is you take the block, which already has holes in the bottom of it, put it on the stand, like so. Sorry, doing this one hand. Shan Chan's not feeling well today. Okay, you put it on there like that, and now the block can rotate. That's going to make it really, really easy to push it down onto the rest of the block. So once again, shout out to Alan for giving me all these really cool tools. Okay, wanted to give everybody an update on the hat. I've been merrily working away at this thing. This thing is awesome. It is perfect. It is exactly what I wanted. And for 15 bucks, I feel like I got a really great steal on this iron. As you can see here, right here is where the old blocking cord was. And I've managed to add, I don't know, about 3/4 of an inch in height, which should help when it's time to bash the crown. However, that has taken away some of the width of the brim, and I don't really want to take away any more. It's like right at 3 inches right now, and that's generally where I like it for my cowboy hats. This part right here, where the crown meets the brim, really, really sucked. Trying to get this flat on the block was very, very difficult. I had to remove the blocking cord so that I could take the iron and basically iron it like this against the side of the block, and then do the same thing this way to try and get that 90-degree angle. And if you look really close, it's still not exact, but it is pretty good. I'm going to try and refine that a little bit more. When I extended the crown, obviously that created all sorts of wrinkles and imperfections in the brim. And if you look really close here, you can still see some of the ripples right through here, which I have not been able to flatten out no matter how much I iron it. This is where a flange would come in very nice, but I don't have a flange and they're very expensive. So what I'm going to try and do is take my hat pusher downer here, steam this up again, and then use this to flatten out the brim as much as I can. Just basically just push down and apply some pressure, and hopefully at the same time I can improve my 90-degree mark here. If I can get that finished, then it will be time to bash the crown, which I'm very much looking forward to. Oh, one more thing. if you look closely at the brim, you can see that there are some imperfections in there, especially like right there. I could take my hat jack and basically just cut off like 1/8 of an inch all around or something like that, but I really don't want to detract any more from the brim width. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my sanding block and just kind of smooth out those imperfections and call it good. Another one right here, you can see that there. And another one right there. So I'm just going to try and refine that a little bit rather than taking the hat jack to it. We'll do that in another video. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now, and we'll see what I can come up with here in the next one. Okay, so we're done with that step, and I gotta say I'm pretty happy with the results. I did the whole thing with this and that. I basically did it in quarters. I steamed 1/4 of the hat, and then I used this to just press down on it. I also pressed in at the corner here, along with down on the brim, and I got rid of about 90% of the kinks. There's still a couple in there that are being stubborn and not wanting to come out, but I think once I shape the brim, you're barely going to notice them. And if you look at the, there we go, right there, you can see that there was a very drastic improvement on where the brim meets the crown. So, yeah, pretty happy. It took way longer than it should have. If I would have had a flange, I could have gotten that done in 5 minutes. This took me about a half an hour. But it's looking good. I think it's time to take it off the block and start bashing the crown. Okay, so a couple things right off the bat. It is now off the block at this point, so the block is right here. Another great design by Alan. We've got these holes in the bottom. I was able to put my fingers into these holes like a bowling ball and just pull the block right out of there. If we hadn't had these holes, it would have been very difficult to get the hat off the block. So, very grateful for that. And then, of course, there's the question of the fit. Depending on who makes the hat, I'm between a 58.5 and a 59. And I wasn't really sure what to get, so I got a 59 hat block. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to go back and get a 58.5. But I went with the 59, and I'm going to show you here in a second what the hat looks like on me. Okay, so here's the hat on me. Very Amish at the moment. Needless to say, it is a little big. But, you know, I had to make room for the sweatband, and the sweatband hasn't been added yet. So I think when the sweatband gets added, this is going to be very close to fitting me. I might need to stuff a little bit of newspaper in there, but we'll see. But yeah, without the bash in the crown, the hat looks a little ridiculous. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so now we're going to put the bash in the hat. Take my handy dandy iron. Get that crown steamed. I'm just going to put a little indentation. What I'm shooting for on this bash is kind of what Brian did with my Humphrey Bogart hat. Although this is going to be a cowboy style. Same bash, different brim. So one cool thing about the blocks is you can just turn them upside down, and then you get a perfect bash in the hat. And then let's see, his is like a 5-point. So now we're going to take our hat stand here, so we can find out where the center of it is. Set it on there like so. And then kind of using Brian's hat as a reference over there. So we're going to put 2 points here. And then one tight crease in the back here. And then we need to create our pinch here in the front. Kind of like that. And I like pinches in my hats to have really, really tight pinch in the front. One of the reasons that I like the Last Crusade and Raiders of the Lost Ark hats, because they both have really, really tight pinches. And we're just going to keep on adding steam here from this super awesome iron until we start getting the pinch that we want. I'm not quite sure how you're going to see this on camera, but I'm basically creating a really, really tight front section here. And then when we get to the sides, I'm going to ease off a little bit. I want to say thanks to Shan Chan for finding this cool hat, because the felt on this is amazing. One of the reasons that I'm not going to be putting the sweatband in it myself is because I really, really don't want to ruin it. But the felt was nice and pliable, and I felt that I could probably, see what I did there? I felt that I could probably get to this point without any help and gain some experience at the same time. And I have. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with the way that it's looking so far. The pinch in the front is already looking like my Bogart pinch. So that's making me happy. I just hope the frickin' thing fits me when it's done. Another thing you can use the hat pusher downer for is to create the creases in the sides. I've seen some other hatters on YouTube use this tool this way. This thing is really, really handy. It's got so many different uses. It makes me really happy that I've got some cool tools to use at this point. And I got all of them for a very, very good price. One of the things about hat making is it's very expensive to get going. And thanks to Alan and my friend Tom, who made a nice contribution to the channel, I've got some tools to get me going here. I've got a block for myself. I got one for Shan Chan. I've got the hat stand. I got this cool iron that I picked up at an estate sale. I've been able to have some really good luck finding some hats to work on. I've already got, I don't know, 6 hats or something like that that are ready to be pulled apart to have me practice on. But after watching Pascal in Virginia City and the joy he was having making these hats, it really inspired me to try making one myself from the ground up. I've done lots of different bashes and things like that on hats before, but never blocked one until this one. This is the first hat that I've ever blocked. I'm very happy with the way it's coming out. If I can just get this pinch to stay in there. It's already looking like the bogey. And then I just got to do something fun with the brim. So I've basically got my two front pinches right here. Really nice and tight. You can see what I'm doing there. And now I'm gonna accentuate the back a little bit. And I've got Brian's bogey hanging on the wall right over there so I can see the crown from here, and all I'm doing is mimicking it. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to stretch the hat out on the block so I could have a nice high crown, because I already knew this is what I wanted to do with this hat. This probably is not going to be completely symmetrical because I don't have a subject to put the hat on so that I can see how it looks on him. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have Pascal finish this hat. I'm basically just doing the bash, the brim, the blocking. He's going to put the leather sweatband and a liner in it. And I'll be getting that on video as well. That looks very much like a fedora crown, but I like it. So we're going to have the fedora crown. Hopefully that fits me. You might have a little bit of a lump in the middle of the hat, but Brian's bogey has that as well, so I'm not too worried about that. But now that it's bashed, I'm really, really happy with the height of that crown. Let me just take a measurement here. It should be at around 4.5 inches. And I think just by eyeballing that, I almost nailed it. Yep, from the front pinch, it's a 4.25. Works for me. So now I need to make the brim, and that is going to be a little bit difficult because I have no flange. The brim is the part where you really, really need a flange. So I'm going to have to do all this freehand. So it may or may not come out the way that I want it to. But my plan is to basically do like an accentuated Indiana Jones Last Crusade style, where we have the back upturned, cowboy curl on the sides, and then a bit of a downturn in the front. So that's what I'm going for, and I've done that freehand before. So we'll see how that looks on this hat. I do not have a hat band for this hat yet. I don't really have one picked out. I might get one from Pascal. He has some hat bands in his store. Or I will get one offline someplace. But I haven't gotten that far yet as far as like what I want for the hat band. I've been kind of accumulating a couple of hat bands just from the blank hats that I have. Haven't really found anything that I want to put on this hat just yet. I do want to make it interchangeable, like some of Shan Chan's hats where she's got a really cool hat and then she can just swap out the hat band and get different looks and things like that. I kind of want to do that with this one. So I don't want to put anything on there permanently, which is why I'm not having Pascal put one on there. So we'll see what he has in his shop, and we'll see what I can find online. I'm going to try and show you the finished product once I've got a hat band of some kind. But for right now, we're just going to work on the brim. So I'm going to steam both sides here. Now if you get a crappier felt, this part's probably going to be a little difficult for you. But Shan Chan was able to score a really, really nice felt hat. I don't know what this is, but it's one of the better felts we have in the house, and we have a lot of hats for the people who watch this channel. And this hat's $10. So, I mean, I don't want to ruin it because I can't just go out and buy another crappy hat and expect to get the same kind of felt. But I also really, really wanted to experiment, and I felt confident in my abilities to at least make it this far before I take it to Pascal. I also used the sanding block on the hat and was able to get rid of about 90% of the imperfections. You can still see them on there if you look really close, but only if you look really close. So this is basically going to be a hybrid of a Bogart hat, a Last Crusade hat, and a cowboy hat. And all those hats look good on me, except for cowboy hats that have wide brims. Those do not tend to look good on me. But I'm thinking that this hat will look pretty good on me when it's done. And we are very quickly getting to that point. But that's good because we're going to see Pascal next weekend. So I really, really needed to get this done today. I'm going to turn that up in the back just a little bit. And if you have a good felt like this one, you can really just kind of play with it. And then it will just keep its shape after you've fiddled with it for a little bit. Which is what I'm going for in this hat. I haven't decided yet how extreme I want to get with the cowboy curls on the side. On the Last Crusade model, it's a very slight cowboy curl. But obviously, if you go extreme, you get kind of the Toby Keith look, which could also potentially look cool. I recently curled the brim on one of my other cowboy hats, and it was a vast improvement. But I think I'm going to start with a slight curl on this one, and I can always make it more extreme later if I want to. I really like how this pinch turned out in the front. It's very slight, but it looks fantastic. Just like the bogey. Okay, so I think we're about ready for a fitting. Get that taken care of and I'll get back to you. Okay, so this is the fitting. After looking at myself in the mirror on it, I decided that the curl was not quite what I wanted for this hat. So I deadened the curl a little bit. As you can see here on the right side, as we look at the camera, I left a little bit of the curl over here, because having it look not quite symmetrical kind of added to the character of the hat. Kind of like Arthur Morgan has a bit more flair on one side of his hat than the other. I just kind of liked the way that looked on this particular hat. The Humphrey Bogart bash here came out amazing. I love the way that looks on this hat. And again, it's also not quite symmetrical up on top, but again, I kind of like that. It gives the hat a little bit more character. So, let's see if I can get a look at the top of the crown there. I don't know if that's going to show on camera or not, but that's basically what I did. So, yeah, at this point, I am pretty happy with this hat. So, we're going to have Pascal finish it off, and then see if we can find a hat band, and that will be the end of the video. Alright, Pascal is making the hat band for the hat that I have blocked. Oh wow, look at that!
that your first time in Virginia, Sydney?
Yes.
You came with your personal tour guide.
Yes, we did. That's what I was telling her. They wanted us to dress up Western. We didn't have anything, so we just told them.
What?
Just our I know. We'll have to fix that.
Yeah, we
right?
need to take him down to the Red Garter.
We still like you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I thought if we had our private tour guides, we could be let in. They're practically citizens in the town, right?
Well, not quite. I mean,
We own property.
we own property here,
ID,
so
please.
Right.
Citizens, yeah, almost, yeah.
yeah, this is just kind of, you know, simple stuff. But when he tackles Shannon's hat, that's where the magic happens.
Okay. I'll watch the magic.
I already did all the block work and everything on this one. I just don't know how to put the band in. But I just got myself a leather sewing machine, and I'm going to teach myself how to use it. And I'm hoping I can start getting sweatbands done after that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun making a hat.
I'm glad. Where did you get it was an old hat that you replugged?
Yeah. These are just some old beaters that I found off of Facebook Marketplace. I got them for like $10 a pop.
What?
So if I ruined them, it was no big deal. I thought for sure I was going to ruin the first one, like rip it or something when I stuck it on the block, but it came out pretty nice.
Sturdy. Unless the brim is already, the felt is already old. Sometimes
Well, I had to yank on it pretty hard to get it all the way down there. And then ironing that 90-degree section right here, that was really hard too.
it is.
Is it all right to ask how you got in the hat making business?
I learned from my grandpa.
Oh,
It's mighty a day, I guess.
that's in you.
But also apprentice with hat makers down in Arizona.
It's a freaking art form.
Oh, definitely.
I love watching this guy work. I mean, look at the finished ones over there or over there. I mean, they look fantastic.
So, were you raised here?
No,
Not with that accent.
no, oh yeah. Yes, I was, but I do the French accent for the sales.
Well said.
No, I grew up in the French Alps on the Swiss border,
Wow.
next to Geneva. Did you want the top up, or you want to keep it down?
Oh no, I like that. Yeah, I kind of wanted like a Indiana Jones Humphrey Bogart hybrid. I just wanted something like unique and interesting that I didn't have yet, and that one looked good, I thought.
It's impressive that you do that without. Oh, you do have a thimble. Why? It's just
I
going
do.
by so
I
fast.
don't use the usual thimble, but I do have one.
Yeah, finger. Okay, no, it makes sense because mine a lot of times doesn't go down far enough.
Yeah, it's much more strength. I think it's in the middle of the finger. I would say.
And I would always push it with the side of my finger, and then it would be off. I have my grandmother's silver thimble.
Oh yeah, on
Yeah.
the way.
So I'll just use it. No. Does it have holes prefab in it?
No.
No, you just are that fast and it's that. I've
He
tried
makes
to-
it look easy, but it ain't.
I know. I have stitched leather before. Not as beautifully as this, but I have.
This is actually only a pre-stitch before I put it in the machine. I just stabilize the sweatband so it doesn't move while I
Okay.
stitch it.
Okay,
so it's
so
like a
it-
big loop.
Oh, yeah. A base.
Yeah.
also found him one of these.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we freaking scored one of those.
20 bucks?
20 bucks.
What?
Yeah.
In metal?
Yeah.
Where was
It doesn't
that?
have the cord to plug it in, but it's all there.
We got it from some guy off of
Stretch it,
Facebook.
you can open it. Oh, this is like
Yeah, it's even got a little meter on the, oh, like yours
Yeah,
has. It's got a little meter on that, just like yours does, that shows the sizing and stuff.
Yeah, you could buy things on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace. Yeah.
You need a cord for it. You brought your electrician. You might be able to put a cord on.
Yeah, it was the same guy that we got that hat from, actually.
no,
I guess.
it's really
Didn't you
old
say
like
like his
that.
grandpa was like making hats or something like that?
Something
That
like
dude?
that,
I have
yeah.
no idea. You're telling it. That's all right.
It was something like that. It was, but it's been in the family forever, and it wasn't for sale. But since I told him that my husband was looking into trying to make hats, because we were buying the hats from him, and he's like, "For you, I'll sell it to you for 20, but it's not to sell to anybody else. That's only if your husband wants it." When I showed him, you just about peed yourself.
Yeah, I even used it to make a hat for Shannon. This is the machine that I really want, that I'm probably never going to own. Am I in your guys' way? Can you see?
No, you're filming.
I found a guy on Etsy that makes 3D printed hat blocks.
Oh yeah, I know that.
So I was able to find some for like super duper
Oh,
cheap.
that's really cute. Perfect.
Oh, that actually looks really good on you.
I was waiting for you.
Oh, are those pre-made hats over there? There's a price on them.
Yeah, those are $4.85.
Ooh.
Actually,
How much money you got on that credit card?
where is it?
For the bound edges, you just use a regular sewing machine for those, right? Yeah, I've been looking at getting one of those too, and those are like insane. I was able to pick up a steamer at a estate sale for 15 bucks.
It's a steaming iron.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's nothing fancy, but it got the job done. Where's the boot guy? Is he in today?
They went on vacation for 2 days.
$142. Sorry. Quite enough. A little short.
Did you want a ribbon and everything on it?
I haven't really decided what I want to do with the band yet.
Do you want me to smoothen the grain?
Oh, the little
The little wave?
kinks in there? I could not get those out. If you can get those out, have at it.
He's the professional.
Yeah, he's got the flange. I don't have the flange. One of the reasons I had trouble.
That looks like it's in the family.
flanges on my to-buy list.
This looks like great grandpa. That is France.
Yeah, in Switzerland actually.
That's Switzerland. Oh, see? There you go. I have my grandpa's milking stool. It's
No
about the
way.
same vintage.
Also, well.
Yeah.
What are the differences between the flanges? Is it just the curve for the brim?
Size, curve. Yeah, many different kinds.
If I was to buy one flange, what would you recommend?
Yeah, this kind here.
This kind right here? Yeah, flanges are spendy little buggers.
A line now too?
Yes, please. Yeah, I want that one to have like interchangeable hat bands, so I don't want to have anything like stitched in there. I want to be able to like swap it out with a whole bunch of different stuff. I haven't really decided what I want to do for the band on it yet.
Non, normalement il chauffe Dieu et je chauffe.
Can you hold that, honey?
What?
Hold that.
Oh, sorry.
Wow. Okay, well I guess I am a size 59 then. It fits like a glove. Good? Mm-hmm. Cool. Thank you, sir.